for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk.
You're listening to Reignite, a podcast about how the key to friendship is strategic gift giving. I'm Frankie.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Each of our special friends deserves a special gift. What does the gift mean to them? What does it say about us that we thought they'd like it? Then we do a bunch of side quests that aren't very interesting, but hey, money is money.
And if you think that the line in our intro was just like hyperbole for the sake of tying it into the podcast, it is not. Frankie is a strategic gift giver, annoyingly so. A gift sniper, if you will.
I listen.
That's good.
I'm just very good at giving gifts.
It also helps when your friend mentions a thing that they've never played that you've played, then their birthday is like 2 weeks later, so you buy them those gifts.
I know, it was very easy. Like, I don't know why you're being like, oh, you're so strategic. I was like, that was literally the easiest thing. Like, you mentioned wanting to play a thing that I love, so I was very happy to be like, here is the thing that I love. It is on sale. Please enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a shame you didn't mention it, like, during the big Steam sale, because everything was very deeply discounted, and I would have gotten you just the whole thing.
It's fine. But the first 2 games is more than enough. I can buy the rest myself.
Yes. So, which means that we have to play them together.
Obviously.
And then compete.
Compete? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's fine. Anyway. So, yes, as Matt says, I personally am a strategic gift giver. Gift giving is a very important aspect of how I communicate my feelings, how I let people know that I care about them. That ties into a little bit with making things for people. I make things because I love making things, and also I love seeing how excited people get when I give them the thing that I make. It makes me feel good. So, let's talk about the gifts that we give to our friends in this game.
Yeah, so...
Oh, actually, before we do, let's talk about how gift giving is a little bit different. Because I don't think we did that the last time we gave gifts to people in Act 1.
Yeah, so in this act, there are certain gifts that you can get for characters, either from vendors or certain locations on the map, or in the case of one that Frankie and I both missed, in a mission that we didn't even bother to see. These gifts you present, and then it triggers a conversation with the companion where you can get to know them better. They can react to the gift that you gave, maybe a little more if you are involved with that character, things like that.
Yes, whereas in Origins, when we were giving gifts to our companions, it was mostly as a way to boost approval.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it is a 50-50 shot in some cases on if you're going to get approval or rivalry out of it, depending on how that conversation goes and what your initial approval and rivalry rating are with that person. In Origins, there were some cutscenes that were triggered by specific gifts. For example, giving Alistair the Chantry Amulet, or giving Zevran the leather boots. But for the most part, it was, here's a shiny thing, +5 approval. Here's a shiny thing, +4 approval. Here's another shiny thing, just to max out your approval rating. But here they kind of scrap that kind of grinding aspect, and instead it is more story driven, and it is more about getting to know the person.
Yeah, there's still an approval rating in this game, but behind the scenes you can't see it anymore, and this will remain for the rest of the franchise. From here on out, you
can see it, you just can't influence it in the same way.
Well, right, that's true. You can see a broad meter here, right? I think it's in 3 and 4 where you can't see it at all. You just can influence it. But from here forward, it becomes less about the gift giving the influence and more about the gift triggering a conversation that you can then gain influence or rivalry based on what you say, that will mostly what I meant will be consistent through the rest of the franchise. You will be able to give things to characters and then have a conversation about it that will then affect how they like you, don't like you, how you get close to them, not that kind of thing.
Honestly, I love the gift giving. I think it's very fun. because it makes you think about like, why is this an important item for this person? Speaking of, let's start with Isabella.
Yeah, so we give Isabella a small wooden boat. It's not really a toy boat, but like a model boat.
It's a model in a bottle. It's a
Yeah,
ship
oh
in a
yeah,
bottle.
ship in a bottle, which she is very taken aback by, is very excited, and it opens this conversation to talk about what happened with her ship and her crew and why this is meaningful to her.
Yeah, she has a moment where she's like, "Ugh, cooing over a model boat. I'm so pathetic." And I get it. She went through a really traumatic event. She lost everything that was important to her. She's stranded until she finds something that we don't know that will release her from this place, so to speak. And this model ship is an aspiration in a way. It is a future that she wants to take back.
Yeah, and there's an opportunity for me to flirt with Isabel here. I think somehow I stumbled into a relationship with Isabella this time around, whereas that was not
no.
my intent. Well, like last time, I very much was laser targeted on, oh hey, but this time I was trying to keep my options open. But I don't know. It's hard because I don't know how. I've only played this game through once. I'm not sure when you kind of get locked into a position or the trigger moments that confirm that. But I think the scene I had towards the end of Act 1 with Isabella set me on that path. We'll see. I mean, that will feel very, very natural to me as a human if I happen to stumbled face first into a relationship by accident, because that's basically how it's happened all my life.
You get locked in Act 3, I believe.
Okay, so maybe there's still opportunity to, like, it's funny. We'll get into this more as we go, but like the characters in this game, I know you're very Anders all the way, always and forever. But
and I also love Fenris.
yes, but for me, like none of them jump out at me in that way, in the same way that they kind of did in the first game and in the later games. Like when trying to play true to myself, when I was just playing like, oh, that character's hot, I want to be in a relationship with them, different story. But like when the way we're trying to attack this, and like characters I vibe with, characters I think that we have a lot in common, it's just there doesn't feel like a direct connection or like a 1-to-1 here.
Well, because the only short ginger on the cast is unromanceable.
That's true. He is not. That is true.
So
Look,
you're left
right?
without options.
Yeah. All right. Enough. But yeah, this is a very touching moment with Isabella, and I think when in my first playthrough for sure is one of the things that endeared me to her is like it is proof that a lot of this bravado is an exterior shell to protect herself. She is more sensitive, and yeah, and I think that we see that more as this game goes on, that there's someone underneath all of the bravado and roguishness that she kind of just uses to protect herself.
Yeah. And this is one of the moments that makes me like her more as a person. Like, I always generally like her.
Right.
Like, she's fun. She's interesting. She's smart. You know, she's creative. She's funny. Like, she has all of this going for her. But like you said, it's bravado in a broad sense. It is her shield so that the greater world doesn't beat her down. And it's very important to maintain these shields. We all need them in some ways. And for Isabella to have a moment of letting her guard down shows just how close the two of you have become.
My favorite thing about Isabella is that, like me, she's against wearing pants, and I can relate.
Pants are terrible.
Pants are for suckers who have to leave the house. That's the family motto here.
Unless they're extremely comfy, wide-legged pants that could double as skirts.
Right, exactly.
If you're standing still, they look like a skirt, but then whammo, they're pants. I've learned how to sew, so I make my own comfortable pants.
I mean, that's smart. That's definitely smart. All right, so after this, we went to Anders and gave Anders a Tevinter Chantry amulet.
I really enjoy taking the option of saying it's shiny and subversive. I thought you'd like it.
So yeah, I The options here are really interesting. I think it's really like what caught me off guard was that Anders was taken aback by the Chantry amulet, almost upset by it. Like, why would you give this to me?
Do you want me to get executed?
Yeah.
Like, that's fair, though. Like, we did just give him something that other people see as a symbol of terrorism.
Yeah. But, you know, our logic is basically we think they can help. And, like, this is a reminder that, like, the Tevinter mages exist kind of outside the system and they might be able to help you with what you're going through. And it was a symbol of, like, hope to us, which is really cheesy. And then, of course, brings Anders back around to, like, how we were feeling.
Yeah. It's true that we are given the impression that Tevinter mages are awful. We see what a Tevinter mage did to Fenris. We know that Tevinter practices slavery. We know that there is definitely something in Tevinter's past that has to do with why things are fucked up in a lot of ways. But from a meta perspective, you and I know that there are Tevinter mages who are good people.
Yeah.
Who oppose that regime.
Right.
So knowing this, I think the Tevinter Chantry amulet is a way of saying you can be a person of faith and still be a mage.
Yeah.
And so much more practical than giving Anders just a straight up kitten.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Although that probably would have been a good choice too, but yeah. And did you have an opportunity to flirt with your man here?
Yeah, of course. Kittens and virgins need a nice strong mage to protect them.
I see. Okay. So from here, we head over to Meryl and give her. So this is interesting because Meryl, like a few of the quests here, you like find stuff in different places. This, we had to go back to Meryl's hometown and visit the woodcarver, the merchant.
Master Island
to get this challah carving for her. And she immediately recognizes it when we give it to her and is touched that we went back to get something like this for her that would remind her of home.
Well, touched is one word for it.
Yeah.
For me, she looks at it and she says, "This was a kind thing that you did." And then I got however many points of rivalry. And I went, okay.
I don't know if I got rivalry for this.
Oh, I got rivalry. It's because I am on her about blood magic.
Okay. Right,
So,
I have been more lenient about that. And so,
yeah.
But she was very sweet with me. There was no opportunity to flirt with her, which I was hoping for and did not get. But she was very sweet with me and kind. And very much because I guess we're not on the rivalry path, was very much like, this is very thoughtful. It's rare that people are this thoughtful to me, you know, or think of me like this. And so she was just very kind and sweet.
Her tone to me was very tight, I would say. It was very like, I acknowledge that you did a nice thing.
Interesting. I didn't know
you may leave my house now.
I didn't know that the conversations go that differently if you have rivalry. That's interesting.
Yeah. Apparently she begrudgingly acknowledged that I was nice. It's like, okay. Because I asked her if she was homesick and she was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Interesting.
It's like, cool.
I mean, I
guess I'll go.
It makes sense if you had a rivalry and or friendship scale that the conversations would have to play out differently depending on where you are on that scale. But I guess also because I work so hard to just be friendly with everyone typically, if I can. Well, not everybody.
I'm just saying somebody has a history of people pleasing.
Yes. Well, I mean, if that's still a secret to people listening to this podcast at this point, 6 years in, then they haven't been paying attention.
I'm just saying that you maybe put yourself on blast.
A little bit. That said, I haven't gone out of my way to be nice to Aveline this playthrough, so we'll see how that plays out.
As is evidenced by the fact that we both missed her gift.
Yeah, we should talk about that now before we go on to Fenris. Yeah,
I don't even know how I managed that. I look in every chest.
Yeah, Aveline's item gift is a shield of the night, the shield of the night herself, and
Yes.
it's in one of the missions. I think one of the slaver missions in Act 2.
No, it's in Varnell. In Varnell's
Varnell.
mission.
Varnell's mission, and so if you miss it there, you cannot go back to it. Every other gift on this list you can go back for, except Sebastian's, because I think you just kind of get his.
Yeah.
But like everyone else
loot
is,
it.
yeah. But everyone else's you can get. I think you loot it on one of his missions, and I think it's pretty hard to miss.
Yeah.
But everything else you find either from a vendor or somewhere on the map at a certain time of day or whatever. And so going down the list on a walkthrough to get these, because walkthroughs are okay to use. I got to have Aveline's and saw that it was in a mission that I can't go back to, and went, well, so much for that. So yeah, we both missed that one. So we have no context for what Aveline. I mean, do you remember from previous playthroughs
I do.
what Aveline does? Okay.
So the gift itself, called the Shield of the Night herself, it is a shield that is supposed to be from the Knight Aveline, which is where Aveline's name is from.
Okay.
She was an Orlesian knight. They call them something else, something that begins with a CH, and I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head. Chevalier.
Okay.
I believe the Orlesian Aveline was a chevalier, and Aveline talks about like her father and what she was like as a kid, but at first she rejects the gift. Like, even if you are best friends with her, she at first is like, I have a shield already. Or if you have changed her shield, she will allude to the fact that she picked up Wesley's shield in that very first interaction, and that she intended to carry it all this time. But if you put it away in a storage box, if you sold it, she will mention that, and she'll be angry about it. Like, no matter what, she's gonna be mad that you gave her this shield. And then you can talk her down and just be like, I thought that you would like it because, and you can say whatever you want. And if you talk her down, she will kind of look more fondly at you over it, and it will become a usable shield. Then she will say, you know, they just stamp Aveline's name on fucking anything, right? So, like, it's like some nerd receiving the sword Excalibur from a gift shop.
Yeah, and going, you know how many copies of this they've made, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I am a little sad that I missed out on having that interaction with her, because I would like to see how it goes with a little bit more tension between us, because there is more rivalry between us this time around, because I still like hold her responsible for a lot of crime and like things that civilians are going through that the guards are just not helping with. So I have more rivalry with her as a result.
Yeah, I actually, even though I didn't have the shield, I did have a conversation with her because I got to do a follow-up on the betrayal, like, dialogue from the previous mission, and then also had the conversation with her about Hawk's mother also, which I went a similar road. Like, I lashed out. I was upset. And, she, you know, so got to experience the thing you already talked about, but, like, how she is like, look, you can be mad, but you're mad not at me. You're mad about whatever's going on inside, and then you can be like, no, I'm actually mad at you. I'm mad at you.
Both,
this is your fault.
Both can be true.
Yeah.
I can be mad at you and also at the person who killed my mother.
Yeah.
I contain multitudes.
It's exactly, our rage is diverse and vast.
My rage is multifaceted.
Our next gift on the list is for Fenris. If we look around the elven alienage at night, we find a book about an elf who helped Andraste free slaves, and we can give that to him. And when we do, we find out from him that he doesn't really know how to read.
Can I tell you? I am a sucker for Eddie's story where it's like one person teaches the other how to read.
Yeah, that did it for you.
Yeah, it does it for me. Shout out to Tamra Pierce for putting that in my brain. Two of my favorite characters. One is H Street Rat, who never learned how to read, and he had to guess what his chores were based on like what everybody else did, and was like, okay, so clearly the last thing remaining is what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And Triss offers to teach him how to read, and I'm like, oh, my sweet babies, I love you so much. But same here with Fenris. However, I don't like that offering to teach him how to read is a flirtation.
I hear you why. I do like it because I did want to flirt with him, but
Right.
I hear.
No, totally valid.
But if
Like-
but I understand, like, I would help a friend who I love deeply
Yes.
and not, I mean, you and I both are big flirts, kind of full stop, regardless. But that said, the intent, like, I feel like there's friendly flirting and then there's romantic flirting, and
Yeah.
like,
I just don't necessarily feel like I can teach you is in itself a flirtation.
right, correct. It's the impact behind those words that aren't specific to those words. I hear what you mean. It should be like more diverse, or the flirt should be something and then the offer should be something else. Like, it
Yeah.
shouldn't necessarily
Like,
be
I think there
together.
should
I
be
get
a
it.
separate flirt. And
Yeah.
like the offer to read should be like the diplomatic or the kind thing to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Because I would absolutely teach, like, I would teach any of my friends anything that they wanted to learn from me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be flirting with you to be like, I'll teach you. I'll teach you anything that you want to know. Like, it means I get to spend time with you. It means I get to impart, like, a thing that I love with you. And I get to share an experience with you. This is all wonderful friendship stuff. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be flirting.
That, or they could have two lines like, I could teach you how to read flirt, and then I could teach you how to read friend. Like, derogatory,
Platonically.
non-derogatory. Right, platonically.
Platonically.
I'll teach you how to read platonically. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
I think
I'll teach you how to read. Wink.
either of those might make for good episode titles. Anyway, but this is a very sweet moment. Fenris continues
It's
to
very
like
nice.
come out of his shell. His storyline is very complicated, and we're going to dig deep to it during the companion stuff in Act 3. But like, it's interesting. Like, I was nonplussed by this character on my first playthrough, whereas I've found I've warmed up to him a lot more in this playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious to re-experience Act 3, which I know is complicated, now through these new eyes for this character, because I do like him a lot more this playthrough.
Yeah. One of my favorite Fenris arcs is if you play as a mage and romance him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, ugh, I hate everything you stand for, but I can't stay away from you.
I mean, that there's potential for that to happen here.
And I'm just like, yes, be tortured.
After Fenris, we head over to give Varric the Tetras signet ring, which he thought to be lost.
Yes, I actually did this a while back. It was one of those things that they just trigger when you go to talk
Yeah.
to them. Unavoidable. And because I think we both have strong friendship with Varric, it was a very nice conversation. And he was like, where the fuck did you find this? This is the kind of shit that I would make up about you.
Yeah, and then you do have an opportunity to say, well, while you're making stuff up about me, be sure to embellish how great of a hero I am and that I slayed a dragon single-handedly. Like, you get to have that back and forth banter that you and I
Yeah.
often talk about of like, night, it's the though I'm hit or miss on Titus these days. It's the, night, where'd you get that shirt? I don't know, the same terrible place you got those shoes. What the fuck are you talking about? Like that banter of like giving each other shit and like picking on each other, which
Yeah.
like is, I know, a code that we both live by, and how I do interact best with friendships. I can have friendships without that, but like
Oh, yeah.
friends who really get that, it's like it's just a field day and so much fun.
Oh yeah, I have this one particular friend, Sam. And Sam and I do that to each other in a very loving way. But we also like know what the line is.
Uh-huh.
And like every once in a while we do check in and it's like, hey, I said something mean and loving to you before. I just want to make sure that it came across as also loving and not only mean.
Yeah, I have that with friends of the pod, Matthew Finneman and Scott White, my roomies from PAX East and West. We go back and forth constantly, and then there will be times where like someone will say something and someone else will actually genuinely get upset and go, and then you'll double back and go, oh no, I didn't mean to go over that line. I'm sorry. Like, feeling it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it's through repeated inside jokes and other things, you can really run with it, and then it's always nice to check in. But those are the same friends who, the minute something terrible happens, like, are the first to check in, always see how you're doing, will drop that to like actually be caring and supportive. And so I think those kinds of friendships are really important. And this friendship with Varric that Hawk has is basically that to a T. Like, Varric is a character, is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and the same for a lot of folks for a lot of reasons. And you start to see here what that really comes out in the next two games with him, because it's really, the core of it is developed here. It really expands in Inquisition and Veilguard. And I love to see the early roots of it here, especially considering how I just finished Veilguard the end of last year. Well,
Yeah.
it was about a year ago at this point, which
Yeah.
feels weird to say out loud.
I've been thinking of doing a replay recently.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold out till we play it for the pod. I don't know. We'll see if, I have too many other games to play right now, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah.
I'm still working on my trans representation in media paper, and I have a lot of feelings.
That's fair.
I wrote a whole thing about Krem, and now I'm writing about Tosh. Anyway, one other thing I want to talk about that is unrelated to gift giving with Varric. Varric wants to talk to me about my relationship with Anders.
Yeah, he does the same with me and Isabella.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So I don't know what he has to caution you about with Isabella, but he definitely cautions me. He's like, are you sure getting involved with the, possessed mage is a great idea? And I'm just like, you jealous?
Yeah, for me, it's basically, he's like, so, Queen of Thieves, boat thief, always getting into trouble. Not a great idea, maybe not the right fit. And you can basically say, oh, are you looking after me? You worried about me?
Yeah, it's very
so cute. Yeah.
But yes, he's concerned and he just wants to be like, I have said it and now it is done.
I will never break.
I've done my due diligence.
Yeah. I will not baby you. I have mentioned it once. We are done.
Yes. Which I appreciate. Like, it is healthy for your friends to be like, hello, I have a concern. What you do with that concern is up to you. I would just like to be heard. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually very healthy to express your feelings in that way. What is not healthy is forcing your feelings.
Correct. I think you can bring up something like that once. If it doesn't go well, you are done.
Yeah.
Like, to push it or force it can cause problems. I think there are lines, right?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
This is a more complicated conversation for another time, but like, there are levels of it, I think. But it is good to share concern for your friends, but not force your opinions on them.
Right.
That is less helpful. The last gift that we have to give is for Sebastian. It's his grandfather's bow. This I did a while ago because I think basically right after you do his like story mission, you then find the bow, and if you talk to him again, you basically give it.
You don't get the option to trigger it. It just triggers.
Yeah, and so you find his grandfather's bow when you are adventuring with him and can give it to him as a gift.
Yep. And basically he talks about how maybe it seems silly to mourn an object as much as he mourns his family. And he also, is this when he talks about whether or not he is worthy of filling the place of his siblings?
I believe so, yeah.
So he talks about that, and yes, okay. So I remember what it was, because he had two older brothers and they were the heir and the spare, and then he was just the third child that is useless. So his grandfather took him under his wing and taught him how to shoot before he got sent off to the Chantry.
Yep.
And it is a symbol of a happier time when he was a kid, and something that he can hang on to and view with hope.
Yeah. it's conversations like this that make me really like Sebastian as a character. I think it's very easy to write him off as the religious one and kind of be like, this character sucks because he's religious. But I found also, it's so funny. I feel like as a kid, you are very much in line with whatever your parents' faith is because it's all you know. And then as a teenager, it's very common to rebel against it because especially if there are strict requirements or rules that you don't like that maybe even aren't that strict, but like guidelines and, you know, depending on how your life goes, you push back against it, go away from it. Like I can speak to myself specifically, like was less faithful and less invested in Judaism in my college years. And then now I've come back around to it, caring more about the community, the religious side of it, whether God is real or not, who knows, jury's still out on that one. But like the sense of community, spending holidays together, like I've come back around. And I also have friends who are deeply, you know, have deep convictions of faith who still, you know, understand the importance of trans lives, want to protect people of color, right? Like aren't falling into the trappings of religious zealotry. And so I think now playing this game as an adult in their 40s, I can see Sebastian as more nuanced. I think I won't always agree with him in the same way like we talked about in the last season, the last couple seasons with Liliana, and who is also very much bound to her faith, and how I found that something that actually interests me, drew me closer to her because of how it guides her life. And that's not good for everybody, but I think I, at least as a person now, as an adult, can have more leeway with that. Like it depends on not just that you have faith, but what are you saying? What are you doing? Your actions speak louder than words, right? Kind of a thing. And I'm getting a sense of that with Sebastian this playthrough.
I think my issue with Sebastian is not necessarily his faith, but his inability to interrogate it.
Yeah.
And I think that just like we say about media that we love, you have to be able to criticize the things that you love. Like you have to be open to criticism, because the things that we love are not perfect.
Right.
And organized religion is usually not perfect.
Right.
And I think that Sebastian just doesn't really do the work to interrogate that and interrogate his beliefs, because he just goes along with whatever the revered mother says.
Right.
And like she can do no wrong, and mages of course need to be kept down, and you know.
Right.
And it just makes me wonder how you can travel with like people who are allied to mages and not question even a little bit.
Yeah. And I yes, totally. And I see that. And I think for me, it's like, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt that hopefully he will question it. Maybe he will, like, down this line being with us. It's one of those things where it's like, spending time with someone you don't agree with, if you don't have a choice, say a coworker or a family member, you don't have to interrogate them and they don't have to be interrogated, but there's always that hope that maybe just proximity and interaction on some level will breed that kind of curiosity or questioning, which isn't easy. And so I think that's where I'm coming from with Sebastian at this point.
It's just, in this scenario, I choose who I spend my time with in this game.
Right.
And why am I going to choose to spend my time with a character who does not budge on his views and actually annoys me greatly?
I mean, that's fair. Totally. It's also your personal preference and what, like, something that's driven me crazy. Hold on, I'm going to get on the soapbox, but not for very long. That drives me crazy about modern social media is this intent to put out online that if you're silent, you're complicit, which is complete baloney. Silence can also protect you, especially in this day and age when people are checking social media posts, scanning accounts, doing that kind of research to go after people. And so, like, I think that some people on social media feel this responsibility to push, like, well, if you're not interacting, if you're not engaging, then you agree. And it's just not true. And I think there's this level of you have to protect yourself. And if you need to distance yourself from people who have different views from you, or who, like, you don't have to fight that fight. You are not required to. You have to take care of yourself first. Yes. This is something that John's talked about a lot in his posts, especially recently, is like, you can't help others if you can't help yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's key. And what you're doing here is choosing not to spend time with this person who is not helpful, is hurting your cause, and that you don't have the bandwidth or want to spend that time with, right? We all engage on the level that we can. We can't always be everything all the time.
Yes. Survival is an act of resistance.
Correct.
And if all you can do is survive, then that's more than enough.
Yep.
So that's very important for us to say. But about Sebastian, he's like ever so slightly likable, and then he says something that makes me want to smash his face into some cake.
Yeah. I
don't want to hurt him. I'm like, just stop.
Inconvenience him.
Like, sneeze on a donut. You make me so angry.
Go away.
Just be elsewhere, please. And that was all the gift giving.
Yep. There really weren't any side quests worth mentioning here. Usually we get like some really good ones or like some stuff that has themes to dig into. We had some of those in Act 1, but I feel like the ones here are very like fetch questy, go here, do this, fight that, get money.
I destroyed all the forbidden tomes, and there was kind of a tough fight as a result, but that was it. There was like no story tied into it. There is no like vengeance from the demon that was her name, Tarani. That Tarani was relying on, like, nothing. I was just like, okay, so glad I hunted down these 5 tomes and destroyed them.
Yeah. Seems like good work.
Yeah.
Totally worthwhile.
Yeah. Though on the flip side, you could read them and then you get something from that, but I decided to destroy them.
Reading is overrated.
Well. And then the only other one that I thought was like vaguely interesting was How to Frame a Templar, because it had a little more to it. You were crafting a narrative about a person and then selling it to someone, and how you chose to do that maybe says something about you. Like there was a lyrium shipment that I changed the delivery to this Templar that we're trying to frame. And then when I spoke to a Templar who was investigating corruption, I told him like, oh yeah, I saw him fucking sacrificing geese. It was weird. Sacrificing them to demons. And you could have said anything.
Yeah.
Like you could have said that he was summoning demons or whatever. And I was like, I think sacrificing geese is the stupidest thing that I could say, but I could get this guy to believe it.
Yeah.
And that's what I went with.
Legit. Fair enough.
But yeah, the side quests they weren't that interesting. Like my notes from them were just like, handed it in, did this, did that. Like, it was nothing. So, but we are pretty much wrapped up for that.
Yeah, we've got the main quest of Act 2, and then we're on to Act 3, which
There's
is
like
pretty exciting.
2 to 3 parts of it left.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, ow. There is the Seamus of it all.
Yes.
The Isabella of it
gay
all.
Icon Seamus.
Gay icon. Oh, sweet little gay boy. The Isabella of it all, and then the Aveline of it all.
Yeah. And we will get to that in the coming weeks. For now, we will jump into fan mail, and we, of course, have another lovely recording from the one and only Callie. So we will jump to that so you can hear Callie's response to our previous episode.
Yay, Callie!
Buenas Ara, everyone. Here are some thoughts on episode 31 and Night Terrors. What Mariel says about Fadriel was indeed shocking. It clearly came from pain rather than hate, but it was still unacceptable. And she's usually such a kind person, it really is surprising. Though I do not think of anything as worse than death, I will not even consider making anyone tranquil, unless there is truly no other way to prevent larger tragedy. Simply need to not allow the situation to get that bad. listening to Torpor's proposal does result in getting some free, helpful information about Fenrir's predicament. But the deal it offered was insulting. It wanted to possess Fenrir and give me a bit of power in return. The only reason I care about power is that it enables agency. To rob someone of agency to gain power would be completely antithetical to my values. I was disappointed and frustrated with Aveline. She should have known a demon could not possibly bring Wesley back. If it were that simple, Thenos would be a very different place. Later, despite being frustrated with herself, she refused to apologize or accept any responsibility, and said that knowing more of what mages must contend with has made her less opposed to the gallows. It would be nice to have someone who can tank and who I could consider a true ally. However, I do not feel betrayed by Meryl, although accepting the Pride Demon's offer was an error in judgment. She was offered the power to help her people. I have always known that they are her priority, and I support that. It would be selfish and unfair for one person, even a partner, to demand of another to be more important than anything else. Even if someone wanted to assign me such importance, I would not be comfortable with it. I am sad and a bit concerned that she was willing to fight me, and do hope she will be more careful in the future with what help she accepts. But for now, I am mostly just glad that we were able to defeat the demon before it could cause any real trouble. And after, she apologized and made clear that she knows she must be more cautious. That is enough for me. My conversation with Fenrir was very different. He thanked me for helping with the demons, and found new confidence in his ability to resist them. He also felt a new understanding of the Fade and his power unlock. But he was still concerned and knew he needed more training, which he decided to seek into Winter. The offer I would be most susceptible to would be immortality, but as far as I know, we have not seen demons offer that. Something more feasible would be a life of safety and security, probably by way of academic or career success. But realistically, I would probably be too lawyer-like and difficult to exploit or trick, and the demon would get annoyed and withdraw the offer. As always, many thanks to Matt and Frankie for taking the time and effort to make Reignite. And remember, all Templars are bastards, and they must be abolished. But we should be cautious about who and what we make deals with to make it happen, lest we trade one form of oppression for another.
Thank you, as always, for submitting. If anyone else wants to submit an audio log, we will feature it. If anybody wants to send an email or message in Discord that they'd like us to read on the show, please specify. The Discord has become active enough that we can't share everything, which is a wonderful problem to have. But if you want to call out specific stuff you'd like us to bring up on the show or questions for us to answer on the show, please flag that for us, and I will keep running docs so we can address that stuff. But as always, we appreciate your interaction and conversation. It's why we do this show, and so we're thankful for it. All right, shall we move on to Fandom Corner?
Yes. All right. For once, Matt and I are aligned on our Fandom Corner submission, mainly because we have very few other people to talk to about this.
Yes, it's basically the two of us and my spouse are the only people I know who are watching this.
More people need to watch it.
Yes.
A show that is actually based on a French TV show called High Potential, about a woman who has high intellect potential. The whole idea is that she has a slew of neurodivergent tendencies. I would say ADHD is in there. I would say there's some autism. And compare that all with a very high IQ and a problem with authority, and we have a great cocktail for struggling a little bit with life. She is a single mom, co-parenting with a previous partner, 3 kids, and struggles to hold down a job. But she does have a special skill for solving puzzles.
Yeah, in the series premiere, she's working as a cleaning woman in a police station, comes across their murder board, for lack of a better term, their like investigative board, and notices some inconsistencies. So she fixes it. She's like, "Oh, I'll help them solve this." And then, of course, they find her and arrest her for tampering with police evidence. And through conversations and convincing them that she knows what happened and she's right, and they trust her, she ends up proving herself of value to the police force, and they end up bringing her on as a consultant to the police force to help with crimes. And yes, a TV show about cops, especially in 2025, is not always easy to watch. But what I like about this show is it airs on the side of Bones and other like dramatic shows that have like a through line of comedy. I think of Psych as well, that was more heavily leaning towards comedy with a penchant for police drama, whereas this is more heavily the other way around. It's primarily a procedural, but there is enough comedy in this show that I would call it like a dramedy. It does really have a lot of laughs and fun moments, and yeah, it's just kind of infectious. It's led by the main character, Morgan Guillory, is played by Caitlin Olsen, of course, best known for Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Daniel Sunjata plays Adam Cardick, who's like one of the most celebrated detectives in the precinct.
My boy!
And then there are tons of other really great cast. Judy Reyes, who I love from Scrubs, is here as Selena Soto, who is the sergeant at the police force. And like, it's the majority of the cast are people that I don't recognize from anything else, but who are incredible. I love Oz and Forrester, who are like the younger detectives. They do a great job as well. It's really like what I love about shows like this is the ensemble cast. The family is great as well. Of course, like I love Taran Killam. SNL fame, plays Ludo, who is Morgan's previous partner. It shows healthy divorce relationships, like they work together as parents, and they are still friends, even though they are no longer together. It's really done very well. The writing, I think, is exceptional for this show.
I completely agree. I think the writing is great. My big thing is the amount of diversity.
That too.
Pretty much the entire cast, save for the actress who plays Morgan. You said her name, and I cannot hold things in my head.
It's okay.
They're all people of color or marginalized in some way. I believe that the actor who plays Ozdil is also Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And, the actress who plays is she the captain or is she the chief? I can't remember off the top of my head now.
Who? Judy Reyes?
Yes.
She is I thought she was sergeant, and then captain is the new guy in season 2. We won't get into it.
All right, doesn't matter. Judy Reyes, is that her name?
Mm-hmm. That's the
Judy Reyes.
Name. Yeah.
Yes, Judy Reyes plays a woman in an authoritative position, but they also do not shun the idea that she is a Black woman in a position of authority that is difficult to maintain and difficult to be promoted from. Like, they don't look away from the struggles that these very real communities have to deal with. And Morgan, being a woman who struggles with her mental health, also sees marginalization. And she is often the person speaking up for people who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah, I think the best thing about the show is that it's often, a lot of the time, especially in season 1, the cops wanting to do things by the book. and Morgan speaking up and going, but what about this person? What about these things? Like, how can we not fix this or help that, right? When the hospital system's involved, when rich people are involved, she's always like fighting for the little guy, even if the case wouldn't typically favor them, right? And I think that's really important here too. I think having such a diverse cast is so incredible. And then like there are like important cast members in season 1 who aren't in season 2 as much. They move, like the characters evolve and change, and paths that you would see forward for some of these characters, they pivot or encounter complications that you wouldn't have even expected. Another big part of the story is that Morgan has 3 kids, and her daughter was from a different relationship than her youngest and her son, and that her father, Ava's father, is the daughter's name. Ava's father went missing. Ava's convinced that he left and didn't care about them. Morgan knows better. And part of the series is trying to prove that to Ava, find out more about what happened to him. Roman is his name. And so I think that's really cool, too, is that the show has multiple through lines. It's not just Morgan getting this job, showing off and being fun, but there are other storylines underneath that are interesting and keep coming up in different ways that kind of move the show along.
And I think the Roman's disappearance plotline really lends itself to Morgan's personality, or rather Morgan's sense of right and wrong, because the police told her that he just left.
Yeah.
Because that is the stereotype of a black man. It's that he just leaves his family.
Yeah.
But Morgan, who knows Roman, knows that he didn't, and nobody will believe her.
Yep.
And it's because these stereotypes are working against her, and she doesn't have the power to speak up. Now, working with the police, she does have some power, and she's determined to use it to help people. And I think that's a really important message, is that if you are a person with some kind of privilege, especially being white, using your power, whatever power you have, to speak up for people is what we need right now.
Yeah, totally. I think it's really well done. I think if you haven't, it's on ABC. It's also on Hulu. I think it's really worth your time to watch because I've loved every second of it. I think it's really well done. And I'm excited. And it's apparently one of like the highest rated shows right now, which is astonishing to me because no one else is talking about it but us. Which makes for fun messages that I'll wake up to in the morning of Frankie freaking out about what happened in the last episode, or me almost spoiling the most recent episode because I thought they had seen it. Anyway, go check out High Potential. It's really worth your time. Also, follow the show on socials. Typically, I don't follow TV shows on socials, but the socials, especially on TikTok and Instagram, are run by the cast, it seems, or at least
that's nice.
heavily involves the cast. So, like, cast members doing TikTok dances or being goofy, showing bloopers behind the scenes. Some fun stuff.
Can I tell you, unrelated, what show also has a nice social media presence?
What?
Will Trent.
Yeah, Sarah's obsessed with that show. I've never seen it.
Because Sarah's very smart.
Yes.
Will Trent is extremely good, also
Okay.
along the lines of High Potential. But the reason why Will Trent is worth following is because there is a dog. Her name is Betty, and she has her own social media, and it's called Bad Bitch Betty. And it's extremely good. It exists,
Okay.
and it's real, and this dog is great.
Okay. All right, great. So anyway, that's our fandom corner for this episode. Go check out High Potential. As far as where we're headed next, the next mission we're doing is one of the final missions of Act 2. It is called Following the Cune, featuring our gay icon, Seamus, which we are very excited to have him back. Play that mission. And we are barreling towards the end of Act 2. And I believe Act 3 is faster than Act 2, but I don't remember.
I don't think it's as fast.
Okay. We'll see. But either way, we are barreling towards the, let's say, pivotal moment of the narrative, if you will.
Things are going to get dicey.
Thanks for playing along. Thanks for listening. And let's wrap up the show so we can get out of here.
All right. If you like what you heard here, you can follow us on social media. We're at Reignite Pod on Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram, or you can send us an email at reignitepod@gmail.com. You can also find Matt and I individually on Blue Sky as Frankie B. Writes and DJ Stormageddon. Also, I'm on Threads lately. Same username. You can find me
Yeah,
there.
I refuse to make a Threads account because if you ever want to delete Threads, you have to delete Instagram, and yeah.
I mean,
It's all the same.
I just post pictures of the boy.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I mostly use my social media for the podcast and photos of Otis. Anyway, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. I mean, you're probably subscribed if you're here, but tell your friends to subscribe. Rating and reviewing is a great way to help grow the podcast, grow our community, and get more folks listening. Also, tell a friend, one friend, because if you tell multiple friends, it's a pyramid scheme, and we're not a pyramid scheme. So, but if you tell one friend, that's a obelisk. I'm stealing now a wholesale bit from another podcast at this point. Shout out to The Scoops and the Ice Cream Social Pod. But anyway, seriously, tell one friend. If you know someone who loves storytelling, who loves the BioWare oeuvre, recommend this podcast to them because that will also help grow this community with like-minded folks. Because if they're your friend, we'll probably like them. Unless they're a friend like Frankie is, then maybe not. Who knows?
Hey. I like things that you like.
That's true.
God. I don't know why we gotta be so mean to me.
I mean, why not?
Matt, I have a disability. How can you be so ableist?
I have several. What are you talking about? Get out.
I'm sorry. That's my new shtick ever since the chronic pain has decided to
look,
never leave me.
As someone who's lived with IBS their whole life, I say it all the time. So I
know.
get it.
I'm like, I'm just a baby. Anyway. We're members of the Certain Point of View Network. You can visit certainpov.com to find more nerdy podcasts, each with a unique point of view. You can also find a permanent invite link to our Discord server on the website. You can join the conversation.
As for personal plugs, I don't really have anything new. You know, business as usual over on Fun and Games. We're still doing some cool stuff. By the time you're hearing this, our newest will have broken 200 episodes on Fun and Games. Our 200th episode was on the game Off. We interviewed Ryan from Fangamer about that remaster and what it was like to work with a cult classic developer and game to bring it to modern platforms, including the Switch. If you're a fan of Undertale, you should definitely go play Off because it was one of Toby Fox's influences, and you can see it in the game very easily. And for the remastered soundtrack, Toby Fox actually got to do some of the songs for it. So definitely worth your time. Other than that, you know, I'm everywhere on the internet. My October review, we're in November, right? Yeah, time is weird. My October written review for the Patreon, which is free for everyone to read at patreon.com/funandgamespod, was on Wheel World, an open world bike riding game where you were competing in races to improve your bike and save the world. It's really a great, fun game. If you're like indie titles like Dungeons of Hinterberg and the like that have like a kind of bright, colorful nature and design, but also really heartfelt story, definitely worth checking out.
As for me, I urge you to visit my website, frankiebwrites.com. There you can hire me for podcasting, writing, crafting services. I can do voiceover work for you. I will even record your voicemail. Or you can just kick me a couple of dollars for a coffee. Send me a message, check out my blog. It is not super active at the moment, but that's because I have been really depressed. Court case is still going on, and I have to go give my testimony in 2 weeks. Hey.
That sucks. Yes, go check out all the stuff that Frankie does. Now, on to thank yous. We, of course, want to thank the one and only Case Aiken for developing some really awesome t-shirts that you can buy over at certainpov.com. And, of course, also thank Case for the awesome individual episode artwork that he has made for us. Thank you.
Speaking of Case making shirts, I think we need a shirt of, like, some kind of gemstone that says, "My rage has many facets." I think that is Reignite in a word.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so, yeah.
My rage has many facets. We'd like to thank Miracle of Sound for our theme music. If you've been jamming along, then you should head over to miracleofsound.rocks and check out Gavin Dunn's other music and merch.
Do it. Also, of course, thank you to Red Spinks for our Dragon Age inspired logo. To see more of his work, you can go to Chaos Does Art on Instagram.
And lastly, we'd like to thank you for listening. I'm Frankie.
And I am at AK Stormageddon. And remember, all Templars are bastards.
Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Hawk, 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 Hawk.
All right, Josue, let's go through our new Comic Day stack. We have a lot to review.
I know. Maybe we've gone too far.
Well, let's see. Marvel, of course, DC,
I got Image, Dark Horse,
Black Mask, Boom, IDW,
Aftershock, Vault, of course, Mad Cave,
Oni, Valiant, Scout.
Magma, Behemoth.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, all we need now is a name for our show. We need a name for our show about reviewing comic books every week. Something clever, but not too clever.
Like a pun? It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it's something that seems funny at first, but we might regret later on as an impulsive decision a few dozen episodes in.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
Join Keith and Josue for We Have Issues, a weekly show reviewing almost every new comic released each week, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.